And we are live with our 18th edition of Nansen Office Hours. Alex, how you doing this week?
Pretty good. No banner. I'm at home. It's a bit later in Singapore, but can't complain.
What
How are you
time is
doing?
it? 10 p.m.?
10 p.m. Yeah.
I'm doing good. Busy days, but exciting times.
Yes, indeed. Fun times indeed. Are we headed
Yeah.
for DeFi Spring, DeFi Summer Volume 2?
Well, we're a day away from April, which historically is a great month for crypto. So let's see. Let's see if the prophecies are true.
Yeah.
What have you been looking at this past week?
To be perfectly honest, I've not had very much time to do a lot of yield farming and shitcoining, unfortunately. Spend most of my time trying to make that easier for our customers instead, so they can make all the money.
There you go.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, very altruistic. So yeah, it's been pretty busy. Like the team has grown to, I think we were 17 people, right? We just had a meeting with everyone before the stream.
Yep.
17 people. So that's fun. That's great. But yeah, that does mean there's a lot of work internally at Nansen HQ on onboarding people and so on, which is yes, it's really exciting. It's a good investment for our users who will enjoy the benefits of having more brains and hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I've heard some yield farming projects, some names flying around.
Yeah.
Of course, this weekend as well, I was participated in a DAO to purchase an NFT,
Same
which is
season.
fun. Yes, indeed, you were. So yeah, what have you been up to this last week?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, it's been pretty cool to see the company grow from. I think when I joined back in, I guess it was October. It was this first wave of hiring where you guys brought on, where you grew from like the three co-founders to like around 6 or 7 people, and so
Mm,
it's been cool to see the company add another 10 people. Um, on that note, maybe we can chat briefly about the additional roles we're bringing on, and if anyone watching this is interested, we can they can reach out.
definitely. Yeah, so we have a couple of different teams at Nansen. Maybe we can, to give you a bit of context, mention those teams. So we have the platform team that does most of the engineering work on the base layer, basically ingesting data, parsing it so that it's more conveniently available to our analysts and to our users. Then we have the attributions team, which does all the wallet labeling. So they do both the algorithmic stuff, the heuristics that tag up wallets, like 150,000 addresses per day on average, but also like the manual labeling that we do with our internal tooling. Like we get notifications when there's like capital flowing into contracts, and then our analysts can look at those contracts and label them correctly. So that's the attributions team. Then there's the product team, which basically builds the front end, and that's what you interact with. And it's undergoing a major overhaul because the first version of Nansen is pretty scrappy. Let's be honest. The UX is not great, and we want to change that so that we want to make the UX much more enjoyable. And we have some great people working on that: product designer, two front end developers. Who are busy at work trying to make Nansen V2 the best possible user experience. Then we have the growth team, which you lead, and that's really responsible for acquiring customers, converting them, and retaining them, of course, and also running the VIP and alpha programs. Then we have the operations team, which supports all the other teams. And then we have a sixth team that is not currently staffed, but we're going to staff it out, and that's the research desk. And the research desk basically helps clients that come knocking on our door with analyses, research pieces, and sometimes custom dashboards. So those are the six teams. And what are the roles, you ask, in these different teams? So we're looking for a community manager. In fact, we might get more than one community manager, but at least there's one opening there. which I would highly encourage anyone who's interested to apply for. You can go to docs.nansen.ai to, I'll put that link there. If you want to read more about that job description, and of course you can apply by just emailing us, basically. There's a research analyst position. We have research analysts in several teams, but you can apply for that as well. Customer support, and then digital marketing specialist. So by that we mean someone who is able to do search engine optimization, search engine marketing, conversion rate optimization, and so on to help us grow at scale. And then there's 2 more roles: an operations associate, who basically will support our operations manager, Isaac. And that's, again, to support all the other teams. So help with internal processes, and also perhaps help out a bit on customer support too. And then finally, we have integrations engineer, which is a role to help kind of glue all these internal systems we have together. So a CRM system that takes data from our payments solutions, and certain onboarding workflows that should trigger under certain circumstances. All that stuff, we need an integrations engineer to help us kind of glue all these pieces together so that most of this stuff works 100% automated. So those are basically the main roles that we're hiring for. If you think you can contribute with something that's not, listed here, we're always interested in speaking with highly motivated talent that wants to join in the crypto space. And our ambition for Nansen is to make it the best workplace in crypto. And of course, in due course, the best workplace on earth.
Beautiful. I love it. All right. Well, let's give the people what they want, and we can dive in on some dashboards here and hopefully unpack some alpha for people. So for everyone who just joined in the last 5 or so minutes, welcome to Nansen Office Hours. This is an hour-long session that Alex and I do every week where we dive into dashboards and we chat about what's going on in the markets, but specifically from an on-chain perspective. If you have any questions throughout the session, feel free to ask or join in the chat on the side here. And without further ado, let's get started.
Alrighty. Should we just dive right into hot contracts?
Let's do it. I will say that your screen resolution or your video resolution is abysmal. It's in fact, I've never seen worse quality.
Do I look like a crypto punk?
Actually, a little bit, yes.
Okay, cool. That's the look I'm going for.
Crypto punk.
That's the look I'm going for.
Yes.
Token decimals equals 8, because BTC is 8, right? That's why, yeah. So this is now going to show me the top depositors into the delay contract, specifically for WBTC. And we could actually look at, I guess, the other tokens afterwards. It has a token balance of 0 because it just passes through this contract, presumably. We're just, we don't actually know that, but we're just assuming it because that's what it looks like in the data. There's actually a lot of smart money here, though. A lot of smart LPs.
Mm-hmm.
And heavy DEX trader, elite DEX trader, Kukyara.eth. ETH millionaire. Probably ETH millionaires here. Look at that. Some more smart money on the next page. NFTmaxi.eth. Sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Smart LP, Geo.eth. Flash, there you go. Flashboy. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I'd probably look at this project too with all the smart money in here. Flashboys, smart LPs.
In the reskin.
Yep.
Is the goal just to kind of recreate this with our custom tables, or are we adding more features in as we reskin them? For example, NFT Maxi, if you clicked on that, could you see like a drop down with all the other labels, or like a tooltip pop up where you hover over it and it shows the other labels?
Yeah, so the thinking or the philosophy of the reskinning of these dashboards has been we want to minimize disruption when we risk in, because we want the overall structure of the dashboards to be similar, because people are already quite used to using these dashboards now. So we don't want to like mess too much with people's workflow. But the cool thing is that the whole UI will be custom built instead of relying on this meta-based thing we're relying on right now. And that allows us to much more granularly improve the user experience. So the suggestion you just made, like hover over tooltips, stuff like that, we'll be able to add that over time. It won't be there like in the first version when we roll it out, but that's the kind of stuff that we want to add to the new user interface. That's right.
We're getting some feedback in the chat here saying the video quality is really bad. we'll work on improving that for next time. It's been bad for a little while, but yeah, we definitely need to finally improve that.
Yeah. So I dropped the link there so you can actually have a look at that. Should we try swapping around? Do you want to try streaming and we can see if the quality is better? Might be the internet that's kind of crappy on my side.
We sure can try. You can let me know.
All right, let's try it. Let's swap it around. It's fine if you squint. Then you just see two crypto punks on the screen.
All right, here. Let's boogie. Is this better?
Looks pretty good on my side, at least. Is it better now? Can you write in the chat if this resolution looks better? It's fine. Okay.
All right. Now we're back to high res, high alpha instead of the low res, low alpha.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty kind of bad actually now. But
Oh,
okay, let's just try it. Let's just try it.
Bear with us, guys. All right. So let's keep poking through hot contracts here, I guess. One that I noticed earlier. So I think we've pointed this out before, but usually, actually, the ones that we haven't really gotten around to labeling yet are actually pretty helpful or pretty high alpha. So for example, ETH Millionaire here has 7 million in the last 7 days, 2 million in the last day, and 6 smart money depositors. These are the kind of contracts it's worth digging deeper onto. Here, okay, it looks like a chain link contract or something like that. Sometimes you need to do some extra digging. Sometimes it's not immediately obvious just based on the contract name what it is. Sometimes you can just pop open the contract deployer. Here it's a Gnosis safe, so not super useful. To continue digging in here, you can sometimes toss this into Wallet Profiler.
Yeah, this looks like a multi-sig that holds a lot of ether.
Oh, is this maybe this is the Pleaser DAO one?
I think you actually plugged in the deployer, but you wanted to plug in.
Well, it would just show proxy, wouldn't it? Or ETH Millionaire. All right, let's go back here. This is the other one.
Yeah, that's the one you want. I think that's the actual multi-sig.
Right, but well, okay. So 33871, and then I would just scroll. So any contract that's receiving a bunch of ETH. Usually the wallet profiler is actually a pretty good bet for analyzing who's contributing there. So here we see Smart LP. So basically you scroll down to top interacting wallets here and you see this. So Smart LP, Samurai.eth, isimpmolly.eth, uh, 369.eth, The Man, the Legend.
This sounds a lot like some kind of Molly token sale kind of thing.
It does, or I would guess maybe it is the Teller NFT sale, maybe.
That could be as well. can you drop the? Oh, you didn't put it the address and the URL. Would you mind doing that? And then we can drop the link in the chat. Yeah, it looks White Heart related, right?
It could be Whiteheart, but it could be Teller.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
I'm not
Thanks.
seeing the Teller. So they did like a token, or not a token, an NFT sale this weekend, where they
Hmm.
sold some for 1 ETH, some for 5 ETH, and some for 10 ETH. And it basically gives you access to using Teller, which is an unsecured lending platform of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Clearly, there's a big variety in the different addresses contributing Ether, and the Ether is definitely going to a Gnosis multisig. So I don't know. To me, that looks like some kind of sale, but yeah, maybe it
Let's
is.
check here. What would you say is like the best next step? Basically, what you guys are seeing live here is like how we would go about seeing a random proxy contract and digging into or like trying to understand what it actually is.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different paths you could take from here, right? Like one is to so maybe you could just share a bit about how some of our internal analysts might look at this. The obvious one is to just literally like Google the address, which sounds silly, but sometimes yields results. Um, yeah, so he's saying you can check what tokens the contract holds on Etherscan, but I think it just holds a tiny bit of chain link tokens, and it holds mostly Ether. So the primary capital inflow here is Ether. So that's the thing that makes it not so revealing, but it to me indicates it might be a token sale of sorts. Um,
Well, so here these are all 10 ETH, which, as I
right,
mentioned,
right.
is how they were doing the sale. Is like they were doing. So if we keep poking back here and it goes 5 ETH and then 1 ETH, I think we
Yeah,
found our culprit. Yeah, 5 ETH.
yeah. It might actually be Teller, which was
Damn,
linked
I'm
to
good.
in the link as well.
Use
One ETH
teller.com, I think,
tier
or
and
something like
5 ETH
that.
tier.
Or what is Teller Finance app? Fortune.teller.finance. If I recall correctly, the token sale one was nft.teller.finance. Yeah, okay.
NFT at Teller Finance. That's it.
So they were selling the 1 ETH ones, then the 5 ETH ones, and then the 10 ETH ones,
Yep.
and it lets you borrow up to I think 25,000 DAI.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a
Good
good
work,
one.
Daniel.
So that's good
Good
work.
work, team.
Too bad he didn't label it though before the
Yeah.
stream.
What can you do? Sometimes
What
you
can
got to
you
do
do?
it live.
That's true. But yeah, it's
Okay.
actually just to finish up on that real quick. So, obviously you can check online. You can look at GitHub. You can look at Twitter. Sometimes they're mentioned the contract address will be mentioned. Um, but yes, sometimes we actually see because we have a pretty big network of users of Nansen, and some of them, they trade publicly through .eth names and so on. So sometimes we can actually just reach out to them and say like, hey, we see that you're using this contract. Uh, what is it? And they will just tell us. And so that's like another way we get a lot of our labels.
Perfect. Shall we keep unpacking some opportunities here in on hot contracts?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me just close these extra ones. I think another one that I saw recently. So okay, so we found that one through the ETH Millionaire contract, I believe, right?
Yep.
And so, as I mentioned, like this is just an unlabeled address, but you see smart money flowing into it. Um, we could probably do the same here with this Token Millionaire contract. Let's see if there's anything good in here. Pop. Um, so usually when you click through on a token, well, not usually, but sometimes when you click through on a token, they'll list their website, which is ideal. That's kind of the most helpful version. But if you if they don't list it, then you kind of need to do some digging. And so I would say probably the two best places that I usually check. One is CoinGecko. So we'll see if they've got pop yet. I don't know if it's any of these. Maybe this pop network token. I think from having looked before, it's this one, although it looks like it's getting a little wrecked here. The other place I would check is just going on Twitter and typing in the token, typing in the ticker with the cash tag. So pop. And scroll down until we see someone reference it. Yeah, okay. So pop, and here we see pop network. And that's the same one as up here. And so you can just check on Twitter. I usually check, who of the people that I follow are following this one. And if there's no one, then usually, if there's no one that I follow and it's got a lot of followers, if there's no one that I follow and it's got a lot of followers, then probably like a no-go. Here, 7,800, and I only have like 9 to 11 followers here, and not all of these people are like kind of known yield farmers. I would say a little skeptical right off the bat. But yeah, I mean, kind of the next steps here would just be checking the website, analyzing if it looks like something that I would be interested in. I'll reserve my kind of commentary on this project from here, but I don't know if we need to dig deeper on this one.
Yeah, that's good. It looks like your screen for some reason is kind of small. I'm not sure that's just on my UI or if you need to blow your screen up. There we go. Nice.
Oops. Okay, let's keep digging in here on these different contracts. So we checked this one. I think there was one here. This is another one that's usually pretty good to check, are these admin upgradability proxies. So here we pop this open, staked perpetual. Perpetual, I mean, that's an easy one to look deeper into. I think it's perp exchange, perp.fi, and then perp.exchange for the actual like staking contract. I am in America, so unfortunately we can't dig deeper. Normally I would toss on a VPN here, but I don't want to cut off the stream. But it looks like in the background here we see this staking new. So it looks like Perpetual Protocol has some sort of staking going on right now.
Land of the free.
Land of the free. And yeah, exactly. Something like that. And New York to boot, which is extra strict. So I would say one of the things we could probably do here is toss in this. So first of all, we open it on Etherscan. We see that people are depositing perp into this deposit contract, which is good to note because sometimes when you just look at it from here and you see these like dollar inflows, you're not always sure exactly what's being staked in here. Sometimes it's USDC, sometimes it's DAI, sometimes it's perp, sometimes it's whatever, sometimes it's a combination of all of the above. Here, it's just perp, which makes it nice and clean for when we open up top depositors. And we can quickly toss in the contract address, and we can also quickly pull up the perp token address here. Boom. Token address. And again, the purpose of this is just to see who's participating in this staking contract. And, just like none of this is like financial advice in this session, when you see it on the dashboard, it's also not a guarantee that you should ape in, but it's hopefully an additional point of validation for one of these contracts. So here on the first page, we see 1 smart money LP, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of enough to pay more attention to it.
I think I saw.
This is. Go
Did
ahead.
I see antfinancial.eth or did I read that right? Or
You did. I'm not sure if it's. I'm not sure who that is. Don't rug me, bro. I think it's the more entertaining one.
yeah, yeah. I mean, antfinancial would be pretty interesting if it's actually them.
I'm skeptical, but here's a question for you, Alex.
Hmm.
When you see this multi-sig owner address, how would you recommend digging deeper on that? Like, would you put top deposit? Would you put this contract in top depositors?
Um, you could do that. I mean, I'd probably click through on Profiler like you did there as a start
Oh, and see
because
who's sending tokens to it.
yeah, because the wallet profiler is typically quite granular, right? You can see in the individual transactions, which is useful, but you could also plug it into top depositors.
All right, well, let's load that
Yeah,
up.
there's a comment here that generally it's of course very important to do proper DD, right? Due diligence. Someone got wrecked on Gaia last week, so yeah, don't just blindly ape into stuff that you see in the stream or even in Nansen. Like it's always good to look at this stuff from different perspectives. Um, yeah, what's the Okay, you're
So,
just plugging it into
yeah.
top depositors as well. Yeah, nice. Because top depositors can be used with any address, actually. Like, this is a multi-sig, so um, sorry, this is a multi-sig owner. Um, so it can be used for that as well. It doesn't have to be only for yield farms or smart contracts. It's a pool creator as well. Could it be the devs? Oh, look at that, disperse.app, FTX. Hmm.
I mean, they have a lot. They got a lot of perp here. I think
Dev
it's eight
team
eight bucks.
or one of the
So,
devs or
so almost 5 mil here.
wow, interesting. Uh, yeah, that one you could also, if you wanted to dig deeper. Okay, so they receive pretty much all the tokens from Disperse, and so that's probably the way they distributed these tokens, right? Because Disperse is like a way to like send lots of tokens to lots of different people.
Maybe this is a time to whip out the top recipients dashboard.
Oh,
So
oh yeah, that's a good idea actually.
top recipients is kind of like the opposite of top depositors. It's basically like who has sent tokens, or like where has a contract sent tokens. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
useful for airdrops. It's very useful. So for example, like the Badger airdrop, you could see all the addresses it's sent to, and like how much it's sent to each of them. But also sometimes for early yield farms, if you want to see who received the most tokens, because like basically when you look at top depositors, you're looking at a snapshot in time. You're looking at who is the top depositors right now. But some people who got in very early in a yield farm might have received outsized returns from a smaller amount of tokens. And so it's interesting to see who has received the most tokens from a contract. And as you're accumulating kind of a list or an address book of smart money farmers, sometimes it helps to see actually, who is the largest right now, but also who received the most tokens from the beginning.
So this is one of the top ones, right? Oh, look at that, Alameda. That's funny.
Alameda, Geo, our friend Calvin here.
It's the seed unlock for perp. They made a mistake and sent too much. Then they had to go send them back. Okay, interesting. That's pretty interesting actually. So I guess Alameda seed funded them, and then this one had 3.125 right million. So it's among the top ones.
This one, yeah, 3.125.
So it's probably it's one of the early investors then, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Who is Geo.eth? We don't know who they are, but they are smart money. Yeah, that's all we can say. We don't really know who they are. They're trying to, okay, seems like a fund. Yeah, could be. Could be,
Cool.
definitely. 3.125, that's pretty, so this is seed unlock. So there's seed investors basically in perp. So one of the seed investors deposited these funds into that yield farm, right?
Do they list their So Alameda, Three Arrows, Binance, MEC, CMS, Multicoin, Divergence, Z Prime. So there you go. That's probably that's this list here is who those investors are. So those
That's literally six, right?
eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally the top, literally the top six. Okay, cool. That's a nice little privacy pool, a tornado cache of funds there. You can work out who's
and
who.
we can knock out Alameda here. So
it's actually only five.
I would guess this is probably like Binance Labs because I think Perp was incubated by Binance. I would just assume that.
Should we have some fun and like look at some of those addresses, like to see if they've done anything else?
Yeah,
maybe. Because if you click through here, you'll only see for that token, but we could actually run it through Wallet Profiler and see if they've done anything other than just perp. I suspect that it's only going to be perp there, but
yeah, let me just clean up my tabs here because we're getting a little messy. All right, so person number 1 here, and we're gonna paste this into Wallet Profiler.
Yeah, so you're just kind of clicking the links, right, to get the URLs and then pulling out the address from the URL. Trying to like explain in case it's not super clear to people.
It's not a this is like, wait, hold on, I'm getting lost here.
So these are the kind of workarounds you have to do currently because the user experience is terrible on our platform, but it is something we're actively working on.
It adds to the fun, you guys. We promise.
It makes it feel like honest work.
Yes. Well, it also makes it, higher alpha because not everyone's going to do this work.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Someone that went to Binance Deposit, right? So now you just looked up you did the normal Wallet Profiler here.
Yeah.
And this one actually sends tokens to a Binance Deposit wallet.
We could do the old, should we do that?
I mean, yeah, why not? So the trick here, if you see someone sending to a Binance Deposit wallet, there is a chance that this Binance Deposit wallet is their Binance account and they've used it for other things as well. So yeah, you might end up just kind of figuring out what their other addresses are sending to that Binance Deposit wallet. So these are the kind of tricks you pick up. And of course, it's hard for us to communicate this in the platform, but that's why you're watching this stream. So you get some tips and tricks here on how to use it. Looks like it's just one deposit.
This is a good OPSEC. This top depositor.
Yeah. Maybe it's Binance themselves.
Maybe.
Just spun up a sub account.
Yeah, it looks like.
So it gets funded from a Binance contract. It gets a token. Yeah, but that's where it received the token, right? That row.
Oh, okay.
I would guess. I'm not sure.
All right, let's move on to the next person. I'm not seeing any.
Next fund, we should point out. We know their funds.
Sure. Yeah. All right, so this is the next fund here. They've got 6.28 ETH in their wallet right now. They've been active since February 5th. When we look at top interacting wallets here, we see FTX deposit, which I believe is also a static deposit address. So we theoretically could do the same thing here, where we pull their deposit address, toss it in a wallet profiler.
Yeah, these are the kind of rabbit holes you often tend going down when you play around with Nansen.
Maybe now is a good time to also do a PSA on like wallet hygiene, and again remind people of how they can decouple their addresses and how they should maintain some base level of OPSEC.
Yeah, I mean it's also really up to. Wait, should we just look at this? What it does though, like.
So
maybe
we see a smart LP.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting actually. Also FTT token, that's not that common to use. Math token. Yeah, this one has definitely been used for other stuff.
Mixer.
Interesting. That's interesting. Can you sort by token transactions in? Yeah, like that. Okay, so there's some funds coming from a Coinbase account, from another smart LP, from some Binance accounts, some mixers, but they could just be like Coinbase addresses. But look at those, maybe sort by ETH transactions out, because that's often a good way to spot which tokens they've been using. So like HXRO, wrap BTC, math token. I mean, math token sounds pretty obscure.
But
So
they receive. So this is an This is an FTX deposit address.
yeah,
Does FTX even list math token?
I don't know. What is? I don't even know what math token is. Yeah, math USD. Trade math token.
What is math?
Math is officially listed on FTX with no handling fee. Math wallet. Actually, someone else showed me this today, this project, now that I think about it. October 14th. It's a while ago since it was listed there. Yeah. So take the intersection of those 5 funds and look at who also invested in Math Wallet, and maybe that's a good lead.
Yeah, alternatively, we see this smart LP here. So depending on how deep we want to go down this rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Do we want
So you can keep... No, I think we can zoom out on this one. Right. Maybe we could do one more just to see if there's something interesting. So now we're kind of backing out of the rabbit hole.
So token millionaire. Here, let's check these fellas. So again, address here. I'm just going to toss it straight into this wallet profiler.
So the annoying thing now is you have to like copy all these like addresses into the URL. In the future version V2, it will be easier to just kind of click through on links, right? You don't have to like copy these addresses so much. This one also looks like a single purpose type wallet.
Although interestingly, they are sitting on $17 million worth of perp, but not staking it. So this is
that's
a whale with too many things going on.
Yeah, busy whale.
Leaving some money on the table here. This is the multi-sig owner that we saw. We didn't really track them down. I guess let's just do the last one here, just to be thorough.
Yeah. Z Prime Capital. Geo is not Z Prime either. Okay. 3 arrows. Yeah, that's pretty funny. So it was 8 strategic investors listed.
Yeah. DDX. I think 3 arrows. Oh, hello. All right. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, look at that.
We've discovered.
Okay.
Yeah, Keeper DAO, 3 Arrows Capital. All right. So this is
all right.
This is the anatomy of an investigation that that you guys just participated in.
Yeah. By the way, you can also look up mathwallet.org and you see the investors there at the bottom, and they include Fenbushi, Alameda, Binance Labs, Fundamental Labs, Multicoin Capital, and NGC. So Binance Labs is one common denominator, but so is Alameda.
Well, Alameda we know. Alameda we can rule out. Binance we're assuming was the largest depositor. Therefore, ipso facto.
Yeah. Well, then there's no one left, right? Because if we rule out Alameda and Binance Labs.
Well, there's one. I'm pointing at it.
Wait, sorry. Multicoin? Are they in both? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Although Absolutely. It looks like they've done a rebrand in between.
Yeah, that's maybe why I didn't see it. So what you're saying is we found Multicoin Capital's wallet. Maybe.
That one I would say like is less. That one we're kind of assuming. This one is pretty clearly 3 arrows.
Yeah, seems like it.
So, all right. Well, I feel pretty satisfied. Maybe we can just let's end
Good
it
job.
here.
Yeah, good job. That's a pretty good investigation on the fly.
Yeah. I would say, kind of next here. Does anyone have any questions on other things we can look into, or any projects that they want us to look into? Om. Om. All right.
Delta Uniswap thing. Oh, okay. I think I saw something about this on Twitter. So basically, there was yeah, fake
What were
volume.
they trading? Whelp or something like that? I doubt we have that listed, but maybe we could find the token address on Etherscan real quick for Whelp.
Yeah, I have to admit I only observed this through crypto Twitter. I've not actually done any investigations on it. But basically, they inflated the volume, right, on Uniswap for this token.
Yeah, let's see if we can find Whelp. You don't blacklist Delta Financial. And we are going to put that in token god mode custom.
Now we're back to seeing your screen small again.
Oh, thank you. Was at 0 decimals. I've never seen a 0 decimal token before. Isn't that just kind of like an NFT?
Almost. I mean, I think another one that comes to mind is SLP. I think actually we may have had a certain
Like Sushi
founder.
Swap LP or
No.
Simple Love Potion?
Simple Love Potion. I think we may have a certain person in the chat here
Oh, maybe, yeah, we can invite him up.
who's invite him up like a clubhouse to talk about SLP. But I think SLP has 0 decimals, if I recall correctly. He's probably not listening. I think he probably muted us or something. Seems to be in the chat.
He said hi earlier, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, here is the answer to the question of what happened with Delta Financial. There were just oodles of transactions here, 69,420. Some solid memes there. Solid keks or whatever the kids say these days. But yeah, it looks like they just spammed the shit out of Uniswap with this token. Is there a price on this? What's the 0 price? Holders 3. I guess we could theoretically label these holders as as whelp spammers.
Yeah.
DEX trades. Do you look at this table much? Maybe you can tell me what the purpose of this table is.
Yeah, I mean this is like raw DEX trades, right? It's kind of the precursor to live DEX trades. So it looks a little bit similar to that, but it's just a snapshot. It's not live. So it's not as useful as live DEX trades. I spoke to one of our customers today who told me that he basically keeps live DEX trades up on a screen the whole day just to feel like he has this bird's eye view on what's happening on DEXs and to spot like large transactions. So it's probably better to just look at live DEX trades, which you can find at pro.nomsen.ai/dex-trades, or just in the dashboards list. And I think that's more useful. Of course, the thing that makes it a little bit less useful is that you can't filter on the token yet, but that's also something that's coming.
What does it mean when there's no maker?
It just means we don't have a label for it.
Got it.
So sometimes you see addresses with no label, but and that's typically if they're kind of trading because most of these addresses will be labeled as DEX traders because they're literally trading on a DEX, right? But sometimes they don't have a label yet because it's like their first DEX trade, or it could be that they our tagging algorithm hasn't run yet. So it's like one of the first DEX trades that they've ever made.
What is SCP?
SCP is a market maker. They are kind of under the radar, but they do a decent amount of volume on DEXs, particularly on 0x type trades, which is where you often see them.
Got it. Let's quickly pull up Ohm here in the final minutes. One of our customers actually messaged me on the weekend about Ohm to analyze it a bit more, and so I think we can hopefully we can show you guys some interesting things here. I'm not personally in Ohm, so I'm kind of guessing at the value of this analysis, but what I'm about to show you is when there is an LP token that is used to stake into another contract. So I think an example of this was with like Gaia. Like you could stake the LP tokens into the Gaia farm, and then here again in Ohm, Olympus Finance or whatever it is, you can stake the LP tokens into a separate farm. So first of all, here on Ohm, we scroll down to top balances, and we see this Olympus DAO staking. And so we can check depositors here. That's kind of like 101, just to check who is depositing into here. But the other thing we can do is check this SushiSwap pool, OhmDAI. And this deposit address is actually a token in and of itself. Because it's any of these like liquidity pools, when you deposit in them, you get the LP token. So you can actually take this and put that in token god mode custom and see the stats on a LP token. So we'll plop that in there and give it a second to load.
I don't think, didn't look like it was actually loading, right?
I think these token god mode custom ones kind of look a little glitchy sometimes. So definitely the data looks a little weird because it's very non-standard. But if we scroll down here, we see, and again, like even the decimals are a little weird because I'm actually not sure how many decimals for a SushiSwap contract. But here, Olympus LP staking. So this is how you would analyze who is staking the Pool 2 tokens. So you can click on depositors here, and we'll see who's participating in this Olympus LP staking. Right. So here we see. So okay, just to recap. So this is if you're just staking Ohm in this Olympus DAO staking contract. This is if you're staking the OhmDAI LP token into this contract. And so we'll see if there's any overlap. So first of all, we see this whale.
Look at that whale. Yeah.
A reasonably sized wallet. Let's see if we see anyone else. Sisyphus, Smart LP, more smart money, NFT Maxi, 0xB1, 3 arrows cap. Don't know if that's the real one. One thing I will point out on this though, and it's always important to note, is on a fresh farm, you won't see many people in the last out column. Like most people will still be in the farm. Here, it looks like a lot of people are already have withdrawn a decent amount. You know, most of these people are at 0 now. These smart LPs, Jedrick.eth, Sisyphus, etc. And so I would say this is kind of, I'm not saying this is not a good opportunity, DYOR, but it's not as fresh of an opportunity as when you see a bunch of people staking in here and no one has withdrawn yet. And in your own time, you can kind of compare these two things. So here we see 0xB1 again, we see this whale again, and it's really just, we see nascent.eth, which we should definitely label as smart money. Yeah, it's basically like, some people want to take the risk on the pool 2, the impermanent loss risk on pool 2. Some people just want to do pool 1. Finn.
Nice. That's good. That's really useful. All right. Any last questions from the chat before we wrap up the stream?
I'll take that as a no.
They're busy yield farming, so.
Any last comments from you?
No. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you again to everyone for joining. We appreciate you guys coming here and hanging out, and hopefully this was helpful for you all. So we'll be posting this on YouTube for your viewing pleasure later in the week. And if you guys have any ideas for future sessions, feel free to ping us. Feel free to ping us on Discord or on Twitter if you have any other ideas. And as always, enjoy and go find some alpha.
Thank you.